I'm Josh from Vacuums R Us and Sewing 2 in Arvada and Boulder, Colorado. I'm gonna have to stop saying Arvada and Boulder if we're opening a store in Fort Collins as well. I'm gonna actually have to stop saying where we are. I'm just gonna say Colorado.
Great.
Because it'll be Arvada, Boulder, Fort Collins. Fort Collins is 2 words. Anyway, I'm Josh at Vacuums R Us and Sewing 2, and I'm gonna show you how to install a Kirby belt and how to get your brush roller installed properly as well. So one nice thing about Kirby's, the vacuum cleaner belt Kirby's use, never changed. You know, any other brand, if you've got a Bissell, Hoover, Auric, Riccar, whatever, it doesn't matter. You got, there's like 20 different belts. With Kirby, it's simple. There's one Kirby belt, it's easy. So the first thing you have to do, we're gonna go over to the first thing you have to do. Okay, we're gonna go back to the first thing you have to do. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, if you currently have a belt installed, is you want to use the belt lifter to pull the belt off the motor shaft. So these are pretty basic machines. You've got a motor shaft that's popping out of here, and the belt hooks around that shaft, and then it kind of twists and loops around the brush roller that's down here. So this, oh, there's Chiefers. Hello, Chief. Did you come to replace a Kirby belt? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, thank you. You're gonna help? No, there's no food. So anyway, back to the belt lifter. We're gonna twist it, which will lift the belt. Now there's a little hook that will hook into it and it will pull the belt off the motor shaft, okay? This lock right here is what's keeping the head attached. We'll unlock that and then the whole head comes off. Now at this point, we're done with this part of the vacuum cleaner. Get it out of my way. We're gonna pop the brush roll out of the bottom of this thing. There's 2 hooks. These can get rusted and corroded over time and get really tight, so you may have to use WD-40 in some circumstances. These ones are already halfway off. I'm gonna pop those off and then my base plate will come off. Now on this one, the belt is entirely missing. It looks like they broke their belt. So we're gonna pop the brush out. And these also sometimes stick. And you sometimes, if they're in there, right? Sometimes you have to get a screwdriver and you have to kind of pry them out, loosen them up a little bit, because they can stick in there pretty good. So once you've got your brush roller out, I would suggest you service it, get all the hair and everything off of it. I'm also gonna pop off the end caps. Now these are, again, they're tight, they're pressure fit. Oh boy, that one, so I'm glad that actually happened. So what happened in this case is the thing that holds the bearing in popped right out of the wooden brush roller. I'm gonna see if I can pop this out without damaging it. That is not ideal, nor is it typical, but it does happen from time to time. Let's see if I can't hold on to that without damaging the threads. There we go. So this is supposed to stay in the brush roller. And then this end cap is what will pop off. Now what will happen is you can sometimes get buildup of debris and hair inside there. Kirby's actually have a pretty well-designed brush roll, so it doesn't happen as much as it does with some other brands of vacuums, particularly Shark. Shark is awful for this. So you're not seeing a lot of hair in there, but you always want to check. Now pop this one off too. You can see there's a little bit of debris building up in there. And I'll just clean that out a little bit. And I throw a little bit of oil on these just to oil up any potential dirt that does get in there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off and then we'll put it back together and I'll show you how to get the belt installed. I'm gonna put this brush roll back together again. I got the hair off this brush roller and I usually put a drop of oil in the end caps, get a little bit of oil on the bearings. That's just my habit. So here's the thing about Kirby brush rolls, right? So if you look at them, you'll find one magnet on one end. Sometimes you'll find, I think there's another balancing, yeah, there's a balancing bead on this one. That's not a magnet. And you could find the balancing beads anywhere. The magnet is on one far side and it's always silver, right? And you can test it for magnetic too. Whoa, that is actually a strong magnet. So the magnet actually runs the little green light that's on your Kirby that lets you know that your brush roller is spinning. It's just a little generator thingy. So you need to make sure that your magnet is on the side with your generator. Your end caps come in 2 different sizes, right? There's a small size and a large size. So when you're putting your end caps back on, check and make sure, in this case, this machine, the large side is gonna go on the magnet side. Now, fun fact, they actually changed this with a couple of models of Kirby's where like the large size was swapped, so people will get a brush roller and be like, oh, it doesn't, the magnet, the caps just pop off and you can just swap them. So that's your deal there. You're gonna line up your magnet with your light, man caps on. So you take your belt, center your belt. This brush is kind of worn, so I'm gonna set it to 2. And I will pop that in. So again, you'll want to center your belt. And I'm gonna twist my belt lifter back around again, center my belt, and now I'm gonna engage it. And right about here, I feel some tension. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the hook down there, but the hook actually hooks the other end of the belt. And as I turn it, it's real tight, it lifts the belt. We can look in there, we can see that that hook has stretched the belt out. And so now where the motor, when I put the head on, is gonna go directly in there, and then we'll twist this back again and the belt will drop onto the motor. I'll put my base plate back on again. It's important when you get these base plates on, you get this stinking gasket in here, right? Because that kind of seals off any air leaks. And this is super tight. This is an older machine. Tap it just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got our belt lifted. We've got it lined up right there. Kirby is sideways. I'm gonna bring the machine back up on the bench. All right, so we got 2 hooks right here, which are gonna hook on these pegs. Okay, and I'm gonna push it up like that, and then this lock right here is gonna clamp and press down. It's securely attached. Now I'm gonna drop the belt. I'm gonna twist it the other way, and the belt is gonna now drop onto the brush roller. Close that up. Now I'm gonna test and make sure that everything's set right by hand rolling. Again, the vacuum cleaner is turned off. I'm gonna roll the brush roller backwards towards the back of the machine by hand, and you'll feel tension because the belt is now on the motor, so you'll feel some tension. It's not gonna spin freely anymore because it's well engaged with the motor. We'll turn it on, we'll test it real quick. Okay, I don't know if I did a disclaimer this time, so here's the disclaimer. If you don't feel comfortable doing any of this, bring it to your local vacuum cleaner repair shop. They will be happy to assist. They've installed thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Kirby belts. I'm not liable for if you take your arm off putting this belt on. I don't know how you would take your arm off putting a belt on, but hey, it's YouTube. You never know. So don't hold me accountable if you kill yourself installing a vacuum cleaner belt. Not my fault. Hopefully this video helped and you've got your vacuum running again.